how remodelers keep getting in their own way, and how to finally build a better business.
Hello, this is the Hack Hour Podcast, a show where it's all about helping real, everyday, hardworking remodelers learn the secrets to having it all in life and business. And now, here's your host, Mike Minges.
Hey there, welcome back to the Hack Hour Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Menges, and today we're going to talk about some uncomfortable truths for you remodelers that are struggling, and maybe you don't want to face it, but maybe you need to hear it. It's all good. We're going to have fun with it and understand that, man, life can be so much better. Your business can be so much better. Let's just make some different choices. All right, so you might want to sit down for this one, right? Because here's the bottom line. You are your own worst enemy. I said it, you're hearing it, and that's right. More often than not, we are the ones that are holding ourselves back. If I look at one thing that's consistent in any of the goals that I was trying to achieve, whether it's been in my personal life, the business life, the remodeling side, right? Fitness goals, relationship goals. When I'm not getting where I'm trying to go, I can only come back and look at myself and go, man, Mike, you're the problem. You're what's getting in the way, right? Yeah, we want to look at everybody else and blame them, the circumstance, the economy, this, that. No, it's me, right? For whatever reason, I just hadn't figured it out yet. And for whatever reason, I'm still making similar problems and mistakes and decisions. And we all do it. Now, guys, listen, this episode isn't just about pointing fingers, right? It's really about like grabbing and finding solutions. That's what is most important in this game of life, is that you recognize, all right, cool, I can make different decisions and I can get different results. You want the result, right? Everybody wants more money. Everybody wants less work, less headaches, less struggles, right? How nice would it be to just pack up for a week and go on vacation? Maybe that's go to the lake, be on the boat. Maybe that's to go be up in the mountains. Maybe it's just sitting on the beach, right? How nice would it be to have that freedom to do it? I recently just got back from a week myself. I got to go to St. Martin, beautiful island, and just was very thankful to be there. And it reminded me of many years when I was first starting my business, how I couldn't have done that at that time. And if you are in that place where you're like, man, I'd really like to just take a week off right now, but I can't. Well, let's figure out how we can getting you to take that week off. All right. So stay with this podcast today. Here's the deal. By the end of this episode, you're going to have some actionable steps, and you will be able to turn like these self-imposed roadblocks into launch pads for success. Okay? And we're talking about building a business and a life that works for you, right? One that complements you and allows you to, gives you the freedom that you're looking for. That's why you're doing this. So if your business has like got a stranglehold on you, that's the clue to say, okay, I get message received. I'm not doing something the way I should be. I need to get out of my own way, right? All right. So switch over here on the documents, and guys, we are also going to look at something that's a little different today. We're going to talk about some of what you can learn from marketing and business strategists, right? Because at the end of the day, what most of you guys need is just, you need a little more business. That's all. You need a few more wins, right? You need to sell a few more jobs, have some more profit, keep the guys busy. Idle hands creates a lot of problems. They talk about the devil's work, right? When you aren't busy with being and achieving success, you can be busy thinking and struggling and being frustrated. So but we don't want you to be busy and not making money. You need to be making sure that the jobs you're selling are getting you the profits that you need. So the real problem, right? The real problem, it's you. It's me. I'm my own real problem. The hardest thing to admit as a business owner is that many of the challenges that we're facing are self-inflicted. It could be the fact that you have a lack of systems. It could be your reluctance to just invest in some foundational frameworks. Yeah, you've been thinking about doing it, but you don't really want to do it, but you keep messing up and you know you need it and you still don't do it, right? Or maybe it's just, hey, you're stubborn and you've liked being stubborn for one reason or another. Stubbornness has worked for you and look how it's gotten you this far, right? And you're stubborn. Cool. At what point are you going to not be maybe as stubborn, right? Maybe what is the breaking point when you decide, okay, maybe I should try something new? What if everything that I thought I knew was wrong? And what if I was basing it all off of incorrect facts? These are things that happen. So we're often the ones, right, hammering away at our own progress. And interestingly enough, today's episode is called Stop Hammering Yourself. Some of you guys are going to have fun with that name and title, but the reality is you're the one that's hurting yourself, okay? So look, I can share a quick story. One of the clients, one of the remodelers that I've worked with, let's just call him John. We'll protect his anonymity here. Let's imagine, right? He swore that when we first started talking, he's like, I really don't need a better client management system, right? The jobs are okay. Everybody's working. I kind of like to just let it play out. You know, I have a contract, but I don't need more. And to him, more meant more work. But what he was not understanding is by him not putting a little bit of effort in at the beginning, it was causing him continuous problems down the road. You could see the train leaving the tracks every job, right? And again, his excuse was, Mike, I've been doing this for like 20 years. I know what works. You know, he goes, I might not be the best at this, but I get by, right? But meanwhile, his business was barely breaking even, right? He didn't have all the extra money that he was looking for. He wasn't able to take the vacations that he had planned for. Things were getting harder for him. He was noticing that his clients were getting frustrated, right? That things were taking him longer. He noticed that his stress was going, as they say, through the roof. Spoiler alert, once he finally reached the real breaking point, which unfortunately for some of you guys is just so low. And I hate to see people struggle to that depth. And I don't always fully understand it. I understand that everyone is on their own journey. And sometimes, for whatever reason, you just can't hear the message when someone's trying to send it out, right? It's like I see guys drowning in their business and I'm tossing a lifeline, or somebody else is tossing you the lifeline and you're just oblivious to the lifeline, and it's as if you keep struggling in the water. At some point, most people do reach a breaking point, and it's usually those of you that are more stubborn and hard-headed that just get to such lower levels. Anyhow, finally, John said, all right, Mike, we made a bet with each other, or I offered to him that I would take him out to a nice dinner if it didn't work, if he would just try it. And we had a good relationship. We've been working together for a while. He did. He put in this new framework for how to help manage the client journey, and things turned around. John noticed a change. He had less problems. He had happier clients. And again, sometimes the only thing that's standing between you and the success that you want is you, right? It's easy for people on the outside to see it, and we can offer advice and say, hey man, here's the thing to do, right? If any of you have ever been in a car accident, or maybe you had an accident because you were playing sport and you've had to maybe go through some like physical therapy work, those of you that have done the physical therapy and do the exercises at home, what happens, right? It's painful. It sucks while you're doing it, but you heal that much quicker. Those of you that resist it and don't do it, you end up having a longer rehabilitation period, right? So if you think about it like this, the coaching that you can get and getting involved with like the Remodeling Academy or some other system, when you can get these foundations, these frameworks, you're just going to get where you want to go faster, guys. So like, what's the deal? Why are you resisting it? I don't know. You have to figure out why you're resisting it. All right. Now, a second thing that you can do in your business to stop getting out of your own way is the idea behind you want to create, offer more of a irresistible type offer to all of your clients. So this is a big lesson that I've learned over the years, and it's that power of what we could call stacking value, right? And a lot of remodelers are selling themselves short. They're only offering the basics because they're in their mind, they're just trying to keep the cost down. People actually want nice stuff and they want more, and people like buying. So think about that. How I learned this lesson was I really wanted to sell windows, a lot of windows. Windows was a very profitable niche for us. One of my lead guys had worked at a window and door company for just a little while, and we talked one day about what that business was like. And when you understand the volume that you can do and the profits that you can make if you have a good system, the window market might be one that some more of you want to go after. So I look at the landscape, I see what other top-notch window companies are out there, and there was 3, and they were all charging over $1,000 an opening, right? I could get a really nice window. In fact, 2 of the companies, I found out who their distributor was, and what that distributor does is they make a product line, and then they brand it for one company when they brand it for another company, and they're very similar looking products, but this company gets to say they're the only ones that sell this, and this company gets to say that they're the only ones that sell this. And I got in contact with one of those companies, and lo and behold, I was able to set up that we could sell a brand and we could sell our own version of this. And I could get these windows at around $200, give or take, and I could then allow for like some $200 for all the demo, the install, right? So I'm in the $400, $500 range, and I could sell that window for $1,200. And this became a very profitable business. And where I'm going with all this is we had to learn how to create a very irresistible offer. And what that offer could look like is maybe we would include tickets to our local sporting event. We might work out a deal where we buy some Ravens tickets. And if they were to buy 20 windows, we'll get them tickets to a Ravens game. If they purchase 20 windows, we'll maybe get them some tickets to a Orioles game, right? Something like that, because we were in Maryland and those were the local sports teams. So you come up with some things that the client wants the windows, and they're getting prices from 2 or 3 other window people. And what I would try to do is, if I noticed that the homeowners were into different things, I would try to add some little extra at times. And in our area, sports were a big one. So things like that. Now, if for some reason the homeowner didn't want that, I could offer something else because I was the owner of the company, and I might offer them tee times to one of the golf courses in the area, right? I would just find something that they want, and I would add it to the window deal so that we could sell 20 windows. And yes, it might cost me a couple $100, but I was technically only losing a little bit of the markup and profit out of one of the windows, one of the 20 that we were selling. And so it more than paid for itself. But where I'm going with this is for you guys is, imagine, instead of just quoting a basic kitchen remodel, right? you get into more advanced, and you're including a full project timeline, right? You give them a communication guideline. You offer them the satisfaction guarantee. You bundle in some sort of extra, like an exclusive, right? And you're giving them something extra. Maybe it's tickets to a sporting event. Maybe it's a gift certificate to a nice local restaurant, right? Whatever. It's a gift package, right? So understand that you can create some sort of an offer that just becomes irresistible to the homeowner. At one point, we did big screen TVs, and we tried to tie that around offers that we were putting out 6 months before the Super Bowl. Now, not everybody wanted a big screen TV, but you know what's funny? A lot of people did, and a lot of people that wanted windows, if they wanted a big screen TV, they were calling us because that's what we were putting out there. And I was surprised at how many people took us up on that offer. So just think about it, be creative, and create your own irresistible offer. So another thing that I've learned over the years in business was direct response type marketing, right? And I've learned that marketing isn't always about being clever. It helps to be clever, but it's also about being direct. Remodelers don't always need the flashiest ads, but they need a very clear message that gets the prospect to take action. And I'll give you some examples. I wanted to build more decks. I found that in the summertime, what was nice about a deck project was we're not touching the inside of the house other than when we had to attach a ledger board in a certain manner. But it was easy work for us. You just come, show up, you're outside, you throw up the structure, boom, and then you finish it and you move on, right? You could usually do them in about a week, and there was a good profit margin in our area and we had many homes that needed new decks. So we put out a nice mailing campaign that was a direct response. We were sending it to targeted neighborhoods, right? And then we would follow up with some sort of a door hanger. We would knock canvas in the neighborhood. And by doing this process, we not only did it for decks, we would do it for kitchens, and we would do it for basements, and we would do it the deck one, we did a separate one where we did decks and enclosed structures like screened in porches and patios, and that all these were very successful. We picked a specific neighborhood that had houses that were in a price point where we assumed that if the person could afford to buy that house, that they could afford to buy a nice remodeling package. And we looked for houses that were potentially a few years old, so that the client, specifically if you'd want to do kitchens, I would look for houses that are about 20 years old or older. Decks that you can put out to any neighborhood realistically, because a lot of new home construction, they don't always get the deck anyway. But a lot of people, again, if their house is about 20 years old, their deck is probably about 20 years old and it will be needing to be replaced. Basements, I was shocked at how many people, even with older homes, either didn't like the remodel that their basement had because it was put in maybe the 80s or 70s in some situations, or they never remodeled their basement and they wanted it. So you pick the neighborhood and go through that package, right? So direct response can be a nice way of getting extra business, and learn that, your messaging, like you do high quality remodeling, or you ask the client, like, are they struggling with their current kitchen layout, right? And there's ways that you can hook or catch the consumer's attention. All right. Another thing that you can do or should be doing is building some trust, right, through your authority and your social proof. Your authority is just that you are an expert at doing what you do. If it's kitchens, for instance, as long as you have remodeled a kitchen, you can then have before and afters, and you can talk about your expertise now in the kitchen space, right? Because you've gone through the process. You know things that they should be aware of, all the decisions that have to get made. So if you're not sharing testimonials, if you're not sharing success stories, some people would call it like a brag book. You physically, in your presentation now, in your digital files, you should have a couple slides where it's like, hey, this is so and so, and this is what they did, and this is the other so and so, and this is what they did, and this is where they're located, and yeah, like we could drive by and take a peek and maybe talk to them, like whatever it takes. Just be willing to show that you've done things and you've done them well and you have happy clients. So again, look for a client to ask to be a spokesperson for you. If you come across an amazing client who has a really good personality and they're a people person, you could talk to them and maybe offer them a little bit of a discount off of the job at the end to say, hey, would you mind if time to time somebody might reach out to you and you would share with them what the experience was like working with us as a remodeler. Those things work well. I found that when we were newer in business, we needed that for whatever reason. After a couple years, I would have that and I would share it with people, but it didn't seem that anyone took us up on checking on our references. You start to get to a place where when you can show them you've done 50 kitchens, people just start to go, okay, yeah, they're doing the kitchens. If you're only showing one or two, then yes, they might want to check up and see how those jobs went. So next thing here, you guys should be considering how you're doing your digital sales, right? So in the world of selling, there often there's the concept of a funnel. Somehow you have to take, you go out, you look for people, right? You send mailers, you knock on doors, you advertise, you do a social media post. At some point, somebody comes back and says, hey, maybe we're interested. We'd like to talk more. So they come into what we call your funnel, right? And you need a way to move them through a sales process that you're not necessarily always having to talk one-to-one with them. So a digital online funnel is a good thing to also look at. But what you can learn from people, and what I have learned from those that are good at these funnels, is you learn to become a master at leading the clients, your prospects, from their curiosity to the commitment, right? So don't get so hung up on whether you have an online funnel or not. Get hung up on the fact that you need marketing materials and you need a process where once somebody says that they're interested, you need something else to send out to them. You could do that directly through an email. Maybe you have some sort of a guide and it's a buyer's guide, like we offer the free consumer's guide to home remodeling, where we share with them all the mistakes that they don't want to make, right? And we talk about how they want to go with a low risk contractor as opposed to a high risk. So we're helping educate the consumer about how they should go about purchasing home remodeling services. And if you're part of the Remodeling Academy's affiliation program and you become a renegade, you have access to those types of materials. You don't have to create them. You just present ours to them, and then you share with the client, hey, I'm part of this program. I'm an affiliate. I'm a trusted, right, certified remodeler through the Renegade program, and this is why we are professionals. This is why you should be hiring us. So offer some sort of a downloadable checklist, right? Offer some sort of a guide that helps the homeowner. Offer something that gives them ideas about what they should be putting in their kitchen or what their kitchen could look like, right? And by doing that, you stay engaged with them and get them more excited about the project. Two more things here. One we want to talk about is you want to address the pain points up front often and then the big picture, right? So a lot of struggling remodelers often think, I just need more clients, but the truth is they just need better systems to manage the clients they already have, right? So you do this by you start addressing the immediate pain points, right? So when you're meeting with the homeowner, you want to understand what are their pain points, right? What's frustrating them about the current kitchen? And you discuss that, right? and then you introduce your solution. So another good thing to do is to have some good stories, right? So when you're meeting with new clients and you're at their house and they're getting to know you, you're getting to know them, I would often tell some stories of experiences that other clients of ours have had who have taken on projects similar to what the prospect was looking to take on, right? And this is a very effective way that you can connect with your audience and you can share things. I would share, for instance, how many of our clients, well, the reason that they would choose a company like ourselves is because we offer a detailed schedule. That's something we pride ourselves on at the company. We offer what we call a linked schedule. It's basically a Gantt chart for those of you that are familiar. Most people aren't. So we would just say we have a linked schedule. And what that means is when we look at a job, we know which tasks have to be done in order for the next task to be done. And we do that because then we know that if we're going to finish your kitchen remodel in 6 weeks, we needed to have your cabinets ordered 3 months in advance or whatever the time frame is. And you start showing the customer how knowledgeable you are about making sure that the job's going to get done in a certain time frame. Most of your competition's not doing any of this. They're just shooting from the hip, and that's why it takes them 3 months to do the kitchen, where it's going to just take you 6 weeks, and the homeowner's going to go, man, these guys are going to get it done in 6 weeks. I'd much rather have my kitchen remodeled in 6 weeks than going with that guy over there who's going to take 3 months. So these are effective things. You do that by telling a story about what other homeowners found very helpful, and then this homeowner can envision themselves as the character in the story, and then they go, yeah, we want that same experience. So what you're doing is you let the audience see themselves in the story, and then they're more open to follow your lead, right? And also I learned this, guys, and everyone's different, and many of you have much more dynamic personalities than I ever have or ever will. I found that I had to work hard at becoming more personable, more relaxed. I had to learn to smile more and joke and take my time and not be in a rush to get through the appointment because I just wanted to sell the job and get on to the next thing. I had to take a moment and, as they say, like, smell the roses, acknowledge where I'm at, and just enjoy and go with the client sometimes at their pace. And when I started doing that, I found I was building better relationships and I was finding that I was having more success, right? I had to stop being my own worst enemy. I had to get out of my own way. I had to experience the pain and the discomfort of change and learning to be different and expressing myself and going through the process, right? And the reward is amazing because all of a sudden you just become easier to deal with and you get more success and you work at it. Once you master it, it becomes so much easier for you to just sell in general. So I would ask you, like, are you ready to do the same, or do you need to struggle more? I'm just asking. Like, maybe it's time to change. All right. Whoa, new concept. So look, guys, here's the bottom line. If you're tired of being stuck, overwhelmed, and constantly putting out fires in the business, look, it's time to stop hammering yourself and start building a business that works for you. So if you're ready to take that next step, I got something special for you. Head over to remodelingacademy.com. Check out our free guide, Weed the Lead. Right? This way you can learn how to best determine who the ideal clients are for you. Also, sign up for our newsletter if you haven't already. You can get insight every month into things that are going to help you with your remodeling business. And look, if you're ready to go to the next level, you can join the Facebook group, get into our community, and join at the Remodeling Academy. Put in your application. Let's see if you are able to get into our program, and where we will have the teachings, the exact frameworks, right? The things that we've helped other remodelers scale their businesses and reduce their stress and help them make more money. Let's see if it would work for you, if you could get into the program, all right? So all you have to do is go and apply, and let's see if you have what it takes to be a great remodeler. The bottom line is go to the remodelingacademy.com, and we have what every remodeler needs. So thank you so much for listening to the Hack Hour podcast. This was episode 21. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, do all that stuff that everybody says. It helps us reach more remodelers who need to hear this message. And until next time, remember, look, stop hammering yourself. Start building something extraordinary. All right, guys, take care.
Thank you for listening to the Hack Hour podcast. It would be awesome if you would leave us a quick review on iTunes. To further your remodeling success, go to remodelingriches.com.